Hey everybody, it's your boy Musin. No, let's stop playing around. It's your boy Musin. Today we're gonna do an account review. All right, so we have 1 day, 5 hours before the anniversary drops. I think that's the perfect time to do a review. And I think a lot of my no, actually no. I think it's just Yuan and Astra that are maxed out, but everybody else still kind of needs some work. Let's go ahead and dive right into it, shall we?
Want a glass of nitro fuel?
Yeah, why not go in order? Yeah, we're gonna start with Bernice. All right, so as you can see here, Bernice is sitting at a nice 400 of anomaly proficiency. I love this, but I do want her attack to be up to 3k. She's got the usual set. All right. And then, of course, everything maxed out except for the middle two. Don't seem to care about those two. Next, we have my girl Grace here. Okay, I'm proud of her. I just changed her up recently, which is why her anomaly proficiency is under 370. But I just need 20 more anomaly proficiency so that she can get the maximum use out of Yanagi's weapon. And I changed her over to the Protopunk set because I don't know. Grace feels more supporty to me, especially if you look at her mindscapes. Like she's over here giving the whole squad some energy whenever she uses her fourth hit, right? And then not only that, but her next mindscape that I'm gonna collect during the anniversary gives us electric. Wow, gives us electric res down and an electric anomaly buildup down, right? Or up, I guess. So yeah, she feels very supporty. By the time anniversary rolls around, she's going to be throwing down electric resistance and anomaly buildup is up. So that's going to help out Haramasa, who's coming up next. Of course, maxed out, ignoring the middle two. But however, I do feel like her counterattack is worth going up. I'll think about it. And honestly, her quick assist is good too. Like, Grace feels like I can actually max out everything. Hmm. I'll think about it. I mean, there is a full update where I'm not going to grab anyone new, so I'll have extra hamster cages to go. Next, we have Haramasa. Now, I would like for his attack to go up to 3k, and I would like his crit damage to be over 200. But as of right now, this is where he's at because it is very hard to get him perfectly balanced. And plus, I might be going after his weapon in the future. Depending on how many new shooters there are in the future, we'll see. But yeah, I got him on the electric set. I feel no need to change this because his team is Grace and Trigger, and they're doing quite well. So I'll stick to the electric set for now. Got him maxed out except for the middle. Next, we have Captain Zhu Yuan, one of my masterpieces. Okay, 3k attack, 243 crit damage. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to get 55 crit rate and 250 crit damage, but I'm not mad at this. Okay, I actually love it. In fact, it's the best DPS on my account so far. All right, of course, gotta have her on the ether set and have her weapon. Will I ever want to get another copy of that weapon? Who knows? I don't know. I think it's what, R1? Why is it called R1ing when it's it's called overclocking over here? Why are we calling it R1? But yeah, well, it would increase her crit rate. Hmm. I don't know. I'm just proud of what she is right now. Next, we have Hugo Vlad. We had to weaken Hugo Vlad because him and Zhu Yuan both use crit damage pieces, but Zhu Yuan takes priority, and I noticed he had a better crit damage piece than Zhu Yuan, so I took it from him because when I tell you he was sitting at about, I believe, 160 crit damage, I had to punish him. I'm sorry. Zhu Yuan comes first. But yeah, he's only less than 300 attack away from 3K. His crit rate, phenomenal. All right. Because he's hitting for 99%. I'll take it. He's like hand sanitizer, which is beautiful. And then we have his crit damage that could be better, but we'll leave it alone from now. He's doing a great job. That maybe because his burst and skill are hella massive once the enemy is stunned. I would love to have his first Mindscape, but because Astra Yao is coming next, and Astra Yao buffs my Zhu Yuan, I am leaving all the rest of the wishes for Astra, so sorry about that. Got the typical weapon, the crit setup. I did have him on the 4-piece crit damage, but it was making no sense. He doesn't freeze enough for me to warrant him using that. And I didn't want to use an elemental mastery piece. Maybe once we get a better team, like an on-field stunner, hope on-field stunner who's hopefully ice, that could shoot. Yeah, I might switch him back over to the other set. Or if we get a support, if we get an ice support, that'd be great. And then, of course, once again, maxed out except for the middle two. Next, we have Astra, another character I'm proud of because we did manage to get her to the 3,400 maximum. Great. So she's sitting at 35. Beautiful. And she also has 200 anomaly proficiency. All right. I decided, okay, if she's going to be scaling on attack that high, might as well build some anomaly on her like an anomaly agent. And it helps because when Zhu Yuan has to go in to any bosses that want anomaly, then we can corrupt them. Got her on the typical set. Everything maxed out except for her first two. But yeah, definitely want to go after the M1. Oh, right. Speaking of M1s, I've been forgetting to show you guys. Okay. So yeah, we have an M1 of Bernice. We have an M1 of Grace. I I decided not to go for M1 Haramasa, even though I really wanted it, because I learned that Astra Yao was going to be a shooter and a support agent and a really powerful support that can help Zhu Yuan. So I decided to save during 1.4, which is why I don't have his weapon either. Then we got an M2 Zhu Yuan. I would have went after M3 if it wasn't for Hugo being a shooter. How dare you, Hugo? We hate you. Once again, would have loved to go after the M1 for Hugo, but Astra Yao takes priority because she's going to make Zhu Yuan stronger, and she makes any one of my DPSs stronger just by being a great support. All right. Next, we have Trigger, and as you can see, I do not have an M1 Trigger because we had too many units to go after at the same time. Hugo was right behind her. Well, not right behind her, but was coming up behind her. And Astra Yao, I didn't know at the time, but Astra Yao was also coming up behind her. And I wanted to make sure that I had enough pulls. Oh, right. Not only Astra Yao, but I also wanted to go after M2 Zhu Yuan. So I couldn't go after M1 Trigger, but that's fine because I'll be going after M1 Trigger next time. And I could stop at M1. I don't believe her M2 is that great. Let's see. Increases all squads crit damage. Oh my gosh, that's going to be even more amazing when we give her the new set. You know what? M2 Trigger might be the goal, but as of right now, M1 Trigger is fine. So yeah, Trigger is kind of well, it's not Trigger that's annoying me. It's the set that's on Trigger that's annoying me because as you can see, she's rocking 89 crit rate. We just need that one more point. It's so annoying. But yeah, I'm more concerned with her crit rate than any other stat on this board. I mean, yes, impact is cool, but any other stat on this board, I'm not really concerned about, which is why her attack is so low. Her crit damage is abysmal. But as long as she has that crit rate and impact, we're good. Next, everything is maxed out except for her dodge. Hmm. Hmm. Anyways, and then I have her on Swing Jazz. The reasoning for this is because I needed a support on Haramasa's team because back then we were using Haramasa Electro Grace. I just recently switched Grace to a support set, and I have Trigger on a support set, so that should help because it should be like the Astra and Nicole setup. Trigger is over here. Trigger's over here. Defense shredding, and soon we'll have Grace, Electro, and Anomaly shredding, so that's great. It should beef up Haramasa's team, not tremendously, but a decent amount. But the new set is going to be better for Trigger. So, and unfortunately, she'll be my only stun moving on to the new set because we have to keep my other stun on the set she's on now. Next, we have Nicole here. All right, Nicole is always a work in progress. Now, as you can see here, I switched Nicole over from Swing Jazz to Protopunk because it just made more sense. Protopunk allows a buff anytime we do a defensive or evasive assist. So anytime we do an assist, right? A perfect assist. That just makes more sense when it comes to Nicole, especially since Nicole got the defensive assist. I never understood this because we only get this if Nicole does her ultimate, because for the longest time, I did not have a stunner on this account. Next, we beefed up everything except for the front two. Nicole deserves it. She's the best of all the A ranks. Even though I was not really ecstatic to have Nicole on my team in the beginning, she is
My treasure?
now the rest of her stats, actually all her stats are just fumbles, because I don't know, it's really hard to get a good set on Nicole. We almost had her perfect last time. She was sitting at like 60 something crit rate and 120 and I believe like 2200 attack, if not more than that, or 26. But like I said, just recently had to change her out. I've been farming Protopunk a lot recently just for Grace and Nicole.
Need something? My services are expensive.
Next, we have Billy, and I will admit Billy is kind of becoming a forgotten member on my account. I do not like this. I mean, Pulchra did manage to bring him out a little more, just a little bit, but not enough because Nicole still belongs to Zhu Yuan, and Billy needs Nicole, or at least Trigger, in order to come out and do something. I have him on the physical set, which is perfect now that we have Pulchra. I don't have him maxed out in anything. It just feels like, no offense to Billy, I literally made this account because of Billy, but it just feels like I should be saving my hamster cages for the real DPS of my account. That hurts me to say, but I just, there's not enough hamster cages to go around. Now, what I'm impressed with when it comes to Billy is he manages to get a lot of crit rate out of nowhere, but he also manages to maintain a higher than 2700 attack. Beautiful. I do want to mess around with him a bit just to get him up to 200 crit damage. His crit rate is okay because when he pops his skill, he gets what, 32 crit rate, I believe. And then his attack, if we could just get him 88 more attack, beautiful. Next, we have Pulchra. And once again, Pulchra is the same kind of pain as Trigger, except worse. Uh, I've been building her for crit, attack, and impact, but I low-key want to change her to impact and anomaly. I don't know why Pulchra's crit is so abysmal. It's so abysmal. I don't know what's going on. When it comes to Pulchra and Nicole, getting them the perfect crit balance has been atrocious. But when it comes to Billy, it's just fine. I mean, Billy does have a crit weapon, but still. Now, when it comes to Pulchra, I am so happy we got the Hellfire gears, and I'm getting her another copy because honestly, when Pulchra was using her weapon, when Pulchra was using the box cutter, now it could be because it is not max overclock, but I really just believe that the off-field energy regen really helps Pulchra because Pulchra was having an energy problem when I was using her with the box cutter. But as soon as I switched to Hellfire's gear, finally she's proccing her skills more consistently. Not as consistent as I wanted, but we are able to get more Hellfire's gears. So Grace, Astra, and Pulchra will be getting a buff as soon as 2.0 turns around. Next, I have her on the Astral set because of the constant switching that we need to do when Pulchra's on the squad. The fact that she needs to proc her skill like a million times, which is fine because I am using her with characters like Billy and Hugo. Now, using her with Hugo is a little more annoying because getting the switches down perfectly when Hugo has two stun agents, annoying. But getting the switches down with the cunning hairs, beautiful. I love it. It is so much fun. I kind of hope we can get another physical DPS that can abuse Pulchra because as she is right now, she doesn't feel perfect with any of my current DPS. She does feel right with Billy, but she doesn't feel perfect. And I would like for Pulchra to feel better, you know? And once again, I did not max out anything on Pulchra. I just feel like my 5 stars deserve more attention. Like I told you, Nicole is the best 4 star in Zenless Zone Zero. She deserves some maxed out stacks. She actually puts in the work. But as for these two, I just don't feel they feel very budgety. I don't feel their max power. And I think Pulchra is my last agent. That should be my last 4 star. Yeah, exactly. I guess we could look at the rest of my account. It's really just standard banner characters and the rest of the 4 stars. Let's go on equipment because some of them will be holding equipment for other characters. Nah, here we have Lycon. All right. Oh, and his cinemas. Look at that. Look at that. Highly annoying. All right. Next we have Kaleda. I think Kaleda. Yeah, Kaleda's a blank slate. Yep. I made sure to dress everybody up, and by dress everyone up, I mean everyone at least has one gen. Because I don't know. Back in Genshin, I liked putting weapons on characters, at least weapons I wasn't using, right? Now, here's Ambi, and she has what I thought I was gonna put on Pulchra or Trigger, but it ended up being useless. And now there's a whole new set coming out for stunners, so yeah. I could have sworn I had a set on. Oh, it was Grace's new set. Okay. Oh, and Grace's old weapon is on this old lady right here because I had nowhere else to put it. And I'm so salty that Fusion Compiler is almost maxed out. That's crazy. I really hope we get another anomaly user who loves to like spam their skill because it would be such a waste to not use Fusion Compiler. Next we got Nekomata. Her weapon is on Billy. We got Corrin. This one right here is holding pieces that I thought I was going to use on Hugo, except the 6 slot. I think I just gave her energy regen 6 slot just out of respect and because it's a great piece. But the rest of the pieces were supposed to go on Hugo till I learned, oh, he's not even going to be an Aftershock character. So yeah, trash. Now, this is Grace's old set. I put it on Seth because I know I'm not going to do anything with Seth, and I know I won't like be swapping around pieces with Seth like I will with who's another electric agent I have up front. Oh, like Ambi. I'm constantly switching out pieces for Ambi because she's constantly holding on to like trigger pieces or grace pieces, stuff like that. So, but I know that I won't be using Seth a lot as a placeholder, or at least as a placeholder for new units. So I'm letting him hold Grace's old set just in case I want to swap Grace back. Moving on. Oh, wait. Just making sure. And we just got Rena recently. It was right when I was wishing for Zhu Yuan, right? I decided to go after Zhu Yuan a little more because I had enough pulls to guarantee Hugo. So I was like, you know what? Let's try and get M3 Zhu Yuan. And I got Grace, so then I had to stop pulling because the very next unit is guaranteed, and that was Hugo. But I was happy to get Grace finally. She was the last standard character that I didn't pull, or I didn't manage to get. Oh, I didn't know her weapon did all that. That's nice. I believe I have every standard weapon except for the Brimstone and the Restrain. But I got the other 4. Alright, moving on. Alright, here's all the characters we don't have. Why do we care?
Only the touch. Standing by.
One thing I do like about doing an only challenge account is looking at all the characters I don't have, right? Because you know what annoys me? Having too many characters. I didn't like it in Genshin when my characters were just piling up. I mean, most of them were really just 4 stars, but they were just piling up, and I felt like I just had a bunch of unused characters. But in this game, I get to see all the characters I am skipping, and it just feels good. It feels good to know I have my own elite squad here. But you know what doesn't feel good? I thought for the first year of the game that I would just end up with maybe 7, maybe 8 characters. No, I have 10 already. In the first year, I managed to rack up 10 characters. How do we have this many shooters? Now, if I had said only guns, I think that would only leave like Zhu Yuan, Grace, Billy, Trigger, Nicole, and Pulchra. I can't really call what he has a gun. So yeah, that would have been 4 less characters. But then we wouldn't have Astra, and I'd be struggling with my. Actually, no. Zhu Yuan, Trigger, and Nicole are actually pretty good. But then Grace would have nobody to love. But I'm blabbing. All right, let me go ahead and show you guys how many wishes I have ready for Astra. As you can see, I'm pretty much guaranteed. I am guaranteed to pull Astra. If she comes early again, that will be amazing, and I'll love Astra forever. But if she doesn't, it doesn't matter because we're gonna pull for Astra. We're gonna skip the rest of 2.0, and we're gonna hope and pray that Orpheus is right behind Yizhuan for 2.1 because they did tease Orpheus, that little rabbit girl, and the umbrella girl. Now I'm kind of praying that umbrella girl doesn't turn out to be like Hugo and trick me into revealing that she is a Navia character and not a Vivian character, right? Because if that girl is out here with an umbrella gun, we are screwed. We are absolutely screwed. However, I will put Orpheus above the umbrella girl as a priority, okay? I made an account like this to go after uh cinemascapes, you know? I would like to go after mindscapes rather than new characters. So, with that being said, thanks for joining me, everybody. I don't get too many visitors, so I appreciate the people who show up. Good night.
See you later, too.